I remember that fateful prom night like it was yesterday. The air was heavy with anticipation as I slipped into my elegant dress, a shimmering black gown that clung to my body like a second skin. It was a night of dreams and possibilities, or so I thought. As I entered the dimly lit ballroom, my heart raced with excitement. The DJ's rhythmic beats filled the room, and the dance floor was alive with twirling couples. It was a magical scene, but little did I know that darkness lurked beneath the surface. The night took a chilling turn when I noticed a tall figure standing by the refreshment table, his eyes fixed upon me. His presence sent a shiver down my spine, but curiosity got the better of me. I cautiously approached him, hoping to break the uneasy silence. "Hi," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Enjoying the prom?" He turned to face me, a smile spreading across his pale, gaunt face. His eyes, oh, those eyes, they were cold and emotionless. It was as if I had stumbled upon a predator in the midst of his hunt. "Indeed," he replied, his voice a low, gravelly tone. "But this prom holds more than just dance and celebration, my dear." My heart skipped a beat as his words sank in. There was something off about this man, something that made my skin crawl. But before I could make my escape, he extended a bony hand towards me. "Would you care to join me for a walk outside? The moon is exceptionally beautiful tonight." Reluctantly, I nodded and allowed him to guide me through the crowd and towards the exit. The moonlight cast an eerie glow on the deserted courtyard, amplifying my unease. As we walked, his grip tightened around my arm, his fingers digging into my flesh. Panic coursed through my veins, but my fear left me paralyzed, unable to scream or fight back. We arrived at a small, secluded gazebo hidden in the shadows. Moonbeams filtered through the gaps in its weathered roof, casting ghostly patterns on the floor. It was here that his true intentions became clear. "You see," he whispered, his voice a chilling melody, "prom night is not just about celebration, it's about sacrifice." My heart pounded in my chest as his words echoed in the stillness. I tried to break free, but his grip was unyielding, his strength unearthly. Suddenly, the man's eyes glowed with an unholy light, and he revealed a wickedly sharp knife concealed within his coat. My breath caught in my throat as he raised it, the blade glinting in the moonlight. But just as he was about to strike, a piercing scream shattered the night. The gazebo door swung open, and a group of my friends rushed in, their faces filled with terror. The man released his grip on me and fled into the darkness, leaving me trembling and shaken. My friends surrounded me, their concerned voices blending together into a cacophony of relief and fear. That night, we learned the horrifying truth. The man who had lured me outside was a deranged serial killer who preyed on unsuspecting prom-goers. He had managed to infiltrate the event, disguised among the sea of students. From that moment on, prom night was forever tainted, haunted by the memory of the man who had come so close to claiming my life. The once joyous occasion became a reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind the brightest smiles. So, as you step onto the dance floor this prom night, remember to be vigilant. Trust your instincts and never underestimate the potential dangers that may be lurking in the shadows. In the years that followed that terrifying prom night, our small town was forever changed. The incident cast a dark cloud over future celebrations, and security measures were tightened to prevent any similar occurrences. Police presence became a staple at proms, and students were required to go through rigorous security checks before entering the venue. Despite these precautions, a sense of unease settled upon the community. Whispers of the man's escape circulated, leaving everyone on edge. No one felt entirely safe, not even within the confines of their own homes. The notion that evil could be lurking just beyond the walls fueled nightmares and paranoia. In the midst of this pervasive fear, I couldn't help but question my own vulnerability. The lingering trauma of that prom night experience weighed heavily upon me, manifesting in constant anxiety and sleepless nights. The once carefree spirit within me had been extinguished, replaced by a permanent sense of dread. Years went by, and prom night continued to be a symbol of both excitement and apprehension. Each year, as the event approached, The memory of that chilling encounter resurfaced, serving as a chilling reminder of the fragility of our existence. Then, one prom night, as I walked through the familiar halls of the school, a hushed whisper reached my ears. Rumors spread like wildfire. A figure resembling the notorious killer had been spotted in town once again. The news sent shockwaves through the community, reigniting the dormant fears that had plagued us for so long. Panic gripped our hearts as we wondered if the man had returned to finish what he had started. Prom night arrived, and the atmosphere was charged with trepidation. Despite the heightened security measures, an undercurrent of unease permeated the air. Every shadow seemed to hold a potential threat, and every stranger's face bore the possibility of danger. But as the night progressed, a collective sigh of relief echoed through the prom venue. The figure that had caused such panic turned out to be a false alarm, an innocent visitor mistaken for the notorious killer. The tension that had enveloped us slowly dissipated, replaced by a cautious sense of relief. Even so, the scars of that prom night lingered, etched into our memories and shaping our perception of safety. We had been forever changed, forever haunted by the knowledge that darkness can infiltrate even the most joyous of occasions. Prom night, once a rite of passage and a celebration of youth, had been transformed into a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. It served as a constant reminder that evil can lurk in unexpected places, waiting to strike when we least expect it. So, as you step onto the dance floor this prom night, remember to cherish the moments of joy but remain vigilant. Keep an eye out for the shadows that dance at the edges of the room, and never forget that even in the midst of celebration, danger may be lurking, waiting to shatter the night and forever change lives. It was the night of my prom, a night I had been looking forward to for months. The excitement bubbled within me as I slipped into my elegant dress and admired myself in the mirror. The soft music played in the background, creating an atmosphere of romance and anticipation. Little did I know that this night would turn into a chilling experience I would never forget. The prom venue was a grand mansion on the outskirts of town. The sprawling property was surrounded by dense woods, which added an eerie aura to the evening. As my friends and I arrived, the sight of twinkling lights and laughter filled the air. The mansion seemed to beckon us in, promising a night of enchantment. As the night wore on, the music grew louder and the dance floor became crowded. I found myself lost in the rhythm, swaying and twirling with my friends. But amidst the laughter and joy, an uneasy feeling began to gnaw at me, as if something was amiss. I brushed it off as mere nerves, blaming it on the spooky ambience of the mansion. The moment came when the prom king and queen were to be crowned. The DJ announced the nominees, and as the names were called, the crowd erupted in applause. But when the winners were announced, a hush fell over the room. I watched in disbelief as two students stepped forward, their faces obscured by intricately crafted masks. Whispers spread throughout the crowd, confusion mingling with unease. Who were these masked individuals? Why were they here? The mood in the room shifted, and an unsettling energy filled the air. It was as if we had stepped into a different dimension, where danger lurked beneath the surface. As the night progressed, I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Glances exchanged between my friends spoke volumes, and we decided to investigate the mysterious prom king and queen. With cautious steps, we ventured through the mansion, guided by flickering candlelight. As we explored the dimly lit corridors, the mansion seemed to grow larger, its walls closing in on us. The air turned heavy, making it difficult to breathe. Our footsteps echoed ominously, amplifying the tension that gripped us. Each creak of a floorboard felt like a harbinger of doom. Suddenly, a chilling scream pierced the silence, shattering our nerves. We raced towards the sound, adrenaline pumping through our veins. We arrived at a room bathed in a sickly red light, and what we saw there froze us in our tracks. Lying motionless on the floor were the prom king and queen, their masks discarded nearby. Their lifeless eyes stared into nothingness, their faces contorted in fear. Panic surged within me as I realized we were not alone. The killer was among us, lurking in the shadows, reveling in our terror. We scrambled to escape, the weight of dread heavy upon us. Each turn we took seemed to lead us deeper into the heart of darkness. Our footsteps faltered, our breaths grew ragged, as the presence of evil pressed upon us. Finally, we burst through the doors, gasping for air and stumbling into the moonlit night. The mansion loomed behind us, its facade masking the horrors we had witnessed. Tears streamed down our faces as we realized the fragility of life, the terrors that hid beneath celebrations and laughter. Prom night, once a symbol of joy and celebration, became a haunting memory etched in our minds. The masked figures, the screams, and the lifeless bodies haunted our dreams, a constant reminder of the evil that can lurk in the most unsuspecting places. To this day, I shudder at the thought of that prom night, the night innocence was shattered and darkness prevailed. It serves as a chilling reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that danger can lurk in even the most familiar settings. Prom night, a night that was supposed to be filled with laughter and cherished memories, transformed into a harrowing experience that forever altered our perception of safety. In the aftermath of that fateful night, rumors and speculations spread like wildfire throughout the town. Whispers of a deranged killer, a phantom who had infiltrated our midst, kept everyone on edge. The authorities launched an intensive investigation, desperate to unravel the truth behind the horrifying events that unfolded at the prom. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, yet no leads emerged, no suspects were apprehended. The case remained an unsolved mystery, casting a long, dark shadow over our once vibrant community. Prom night became a cautionary tale, a grim reminder that evil could strike when we least expected it. As time passed, the memory of that night gradually faded, buried beneath the weight of everyday life. But for those of us who were there, the wounds remained fresh, the sense of unease never truly dissipating. We carried the burden of knowing that a predator could be lurking in our midst, disguised behind a mask of normalcy. Years went by, and we grew older, moving on with our lives, yet the scars from that prom night endured. The mansion where the tragedy unfolded stood abandoned, a constant reminder of the horrors that occurred within its walls. It became a place shrouded in urban legends, a destination avoided by locals and tourists alike. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world was still and silence prevailed, I would sometimes find myself revisiting that prom night in my thoughts. The images would resurface, vivid and haunting, as if etched into my very being. The unanswered questions, the unsolved mystery, lingered like a specter in the recesses of my mind. I often wondered what became of the masked figures, the killers who had disrupted our innocence. Were they still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike again? Or had they vanished into the abyss, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered lives? Though time may have dimmed the vividness of the memories, the sense of unease and caution remained. The prom night massacre served as a chilling reminder that darkness can reside within anyone, that evil can wear the mask of familiarity. It taught us to trust our instincts, to be vigilant in a world that could easily betray us. And so, as the years go by, I carry that harrowing prom night with me, a constant reminder that the line between safety and danger is often blurred. I strive to protect those around me, to cherish every moment, for I know that even amidst celebration and laughter, the shadows of evil can loom. Prom night, once a symbol of youthful exuberance, transformed into a night of terror that left an indelible mark on our souls. It is a story I recount with a mix of dread and fascination, a cautionary tale that serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human darkness. I remember that fateful prom night like it was yesterday. The anticipation and excitement hung thick in the air as my friends and I got ready for the biggest night of our high school lives. The girls wore their elegant dresses, and the guys suited up in their finest tuxedos. Little did we know that this night would turn into a nightmare none of us could ever forget. As we arrived at the grand ballroom, the atmosphere buzzed with laughter and music. The DJ played upbeat tunes, and colorful lights danced across the room. Everything seemed perfect, too perfect, in fact. It was as if an eerie silence loomed beneath the surface, hidden from our unsuspecting eyes. The night began innocently enough. My friends and I danced, laughed, and snapped countless photos, capturing memories that would last a lifetime. But as the night progressed, an unsettling feeling crept up on me. It was as if someone was watching, their eyes piercing through the jubilant facade. I brushed off my unease, attributing it to the excitement and nerves of the occasion. But as I scanned the room, I noticed a figure in the distance. Their silhouette obscured by shadows, they seemed out of place amidst the merriment. I couldn't shake the feeling that they were observing us, their gaze fixated solely on our group. I mustered the courage to approach my friends and share my concerns. But they dismissed my fears as mere paranoia, attributing my unease to the stress of prom night. Determined not to spoil the festivities, I reluctantly accepted their reassurances, but a nagging sense of dread continued to eat at me. As the clock struck midnight, an announcement was made, inviting everyone to gather outside for a surprise event. Curiosity piqued, we followed the crowd, unaware of the horror that awaited us. The night air was crisp, and the moon shone brightly overhead, casting an eerie glow on the deserted courtyard. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The music ceased, and the once joyous chatter dissolved into an unsettling silence. A cold wind whistled through the air, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I exchanged worried glances with my friends, realizing that something was horribly wrong. Out of the darkness emerged the figure I had seen earlier, their face hidden beneath a menacing mask. Panic seized my heart as they advanced towards us, their movements eerily deliberate. With each step, my fear grew, threatening to overwhelm me. I knew then that our lives were in grave danger. A chilling voice cut through the silence, sending shivers down my spine. "Welcome to your worst nightmare, my dear prom goers," it sneered. "Tonight, your celebration will end in bloodshed." The figure raised a gleaming knife, its malevolence glinting under the moonlight. Terror consumed us as the figure launched into a frenzy of violence, slashing and stabbing indiscriminately. Panic erupted as we scrambled to escape, but chaos reigned supreme. Desperate screams filled the air, drowned out by the deafening sound of our hearts pounding in our chests. In the midst of the madness, I lost sight of my friends. Panic blinded my senses, and I stumbled through the darkness, desperately seeking an escape. Blood stained my hands, a chilling reminder of the horrors unfolding around me. Finally, I managed to break free from the nightmare, sprinting towards the safety of the nearest exit. Tears streamed down my face as I emerged into the cool night, gasping for breath. The silence that followed was deafening, punctuated only by the distant sound of sirens approaching. As I looked back at the ballroom, now a scene of unimaginable carnage, I realized the true extent of the tragedy. Bodies lay strewn across the floor, a horrifying tableau of shattered dreams and lost innocence. The once vibrant and lively prom had transformed into a scene of unspeakable horror. Emergency responders arrived, their flashing lights casting an eerie glow on the macabre scene. Paramedics rushed to attend to the wounded, while police officers scoured the area for any sign of the assailant. Questions swirled in my mind. Who could have done this? What was their motive? And why did they choose our prom night as the backdrop for such a heinous act? Days turned into weeks, and the prom night massacre remained etched in my memory. The pain and trauma lingered, casting a shadow over what should have been a joyous milestone. The authorities worked tirelessly to piece together the puzzle, yet the answers eluded them. Rumors circulated, each one more gruesome than the last. Whispers of a deranged individual seeking revenge or a twisted game played for sadistic pleasure. But the truth remained elusive, buried in the darkness along with the secrets of that night. Life moved on, but the scars remained, both seen and unseen. Prom night became a haunted memory, a cautionary tale whispered among students. The once thriving spirit of our community was replaced by a collective sense of fear and distrust. Years passed, but the pain never fully subsided. The wounds of that night ran deep, forever altering the trajectory of our lives. Some found solace in therapy and support groups, while others struggled to find peace in a world shattered by violence. The prom night massacre served as a grim reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can lurk within the most seemingly innocent of settings. It taught me to trust my instincts, to listen to the whispers of intuition, even when others dismiss them as irrational. To this day, I find it difficult to attend social gatherings or embrace the carefree spirit that once defined our youth. The scars of that fateful night continue to remind me of the horrors that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most cherished moments. Prom night was meant to be a celebration of our accomplishments, a night filled with hope and anticipation. Instead, it became a harrowing nightmare, forever etched in our souls. The wounds may heal, but the memories remain, serving as a chilling reminder that darkness can descend upon us when we least expect it.